my comedy.
Okay.
The reactions that I started to get when I got much older, it's so much comedy there. First of all, what I was wanting to talk about is I didn't know that I was a little person until I was like 25. So back to my experiences growing up, my family, my mom's short, my dad was never that tall, but they always, like I said, I could do anything. I was Mighty Mouse. You know, I never felt abnormal, at least in my household. People might have talked about me outside of my home because they're like, are you like, why do you feel like you can carry this couch? I don't understand.
I have witnessed her trying to carry couches. I'm like, ma'am, I get it, but you also have ovaries. Let's stop.
Let's think this out.
Let's
So I never felt a part of the dwarf community at all. I never felt like I could identify with them. I always knew I was small, but there always was a piece of me that was like, I mean, I'm not that small, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I've got enough to handle. Okay. I'm not that small. I worked on a film called Oz the Great and Powerful. I went to a huge casting call in Michigan. It was a really, really powerful experience, but it was the first movie I worked on. But the most powerful experience was meeting other little people. It was remarkable being in a room with hundreds of people that were the same height as me, which had never happened. In fact, I'd never talked to anyone that was short like me.
Wow.
Until I walked in that room. I had so many different reactions, and that's what I talk about too in my comedy. One little person walked up to me and he's like, "Hey, I haven't seen you at any of the conventions." Excuse me?
Conventions?
Conventions? He's like, "Yeah, I haven't seen you around." I'm like, I didn't think I could, identify with you guys. At this point, I'm looking at him like, oh, God, this guy. And he was like, "Honey, we're both full adults. We're looking at each other in the eyes. I'm pretty sure you can join Little People of America." And that was the one moment I was like, oh, okay. And I realized I'm small. They taught me a whole lot. There's 250 types of dwarfism, and because you're 4'9" and a full adult, under 4'9" and a full adult, then you're a little person. And I learned so much from that experience, but it was really funny too. When I learned all of that stuff about myself, I went out into the world, and it was just really funny the reactions that I got. A lot of my friends would be like, "Yeah, but you don't look like a little person, but you're not like that small, but you're proportionate." I'm like, no, actually, I'm not. And I would get the same kind of different reactions from other little people because I'm not. In some cases, I'm a little taller and I can reach things because my arms are long. So again, the popular thing was like, but you're but you don't have it as bad and you're proportionate kind of thing. And it started to upset me. And I talk about it again in my comedy. I'm like, you don't know how humble you have to be to try to prove to people that you're little. I'm like, no, I actually am a little person after all.
Like shelf, can't reach it.
Yeah. And I had some arguments with other little people, and I'm like, hey, listen, there's a bazillion types of them. What we consider a typical dwarf is that they have short arms and short legs and long torsos. I am the complete opposite. So I have long arms, long legs, and a short torso. So both of us aren't proportionate. We're just, disproportionate in different ways. I remember sitting down in a line of little people, and I was like the smallest. Like it was like boop, and then boop, 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 and then they were like, "Geez, Danielle, why don't you grow some?" And that was a really cute moment for me because I felt a part of the family, and they weren't looking at me like, like I was completely a monster. I felt I belonged.